Okay. Welcome to the webinar, which is going to cover my weird marketing hack that gives me hundreds of leads each week. All I ask of you today, though, is to give me your undivided attention, because don't be the guy on the phone who's playing with his kids and on their phone. Like, you're showing up here. You're going to get some value out of today. Don't be that guy who's sitting on his phone. Be this guy right here. Give me your undivided attention, because you're going to be here for about 60 minutes, maybe up to 90, because isn't it true that the thing that you focus on is really everything? That's really what it comes down to running a successful business. And isn't it also true that you may not be where you want to be because you don't know what to focus on? You don't know whether or not what you're doing is right every day. You're not sure if you're talking to the right people or even know where to find the right people. You may have a mentor in your company, but you don't know the questions to ask. And so we're going to cover a lot of this today, because unfortunately, the sad news is that I did some research, and about 87% of real estate agents are expected to fail in the first 5 years of this industry. That's terrible. It's terrible. We need to make sure that we stand out from the other agents. So we have to make sure that we can be attention grabbers, because we get into this business because we want to make more money and have more financial freedom, right? And basically have more time with our families. And all of it seems so easy until you get there and you start doing the thing. And then this is what you find. 87% of agents are failing in the first 5 years. 87% is like 1.7 million. Okay. This is horrible. This is a huge number. 13%, that's like 260 agents. Like, you have to, you spend more time. A manicurist has spent more time getting her license than a real estate agent has to getting her license, getting licensed in real estate. We are 13%. We are not going to be that way. So what are we going to do to actually make sure that we get there? We are not going to try to figure it out on our own, because statistics show that is not what is working. All right, imagine if this was a university and only 13% of people graduated. Okay, so out of 100 people, boom, those guys did not make it out. That's 87%. Only these 13 little faces over here got to graduate from this university. Isn't that crazy? All right, imagine this was a medical surgery. So I actually looked up, I said, what's the riskiest surgery? And open heart surgery came up to be number one. So I said, hey, what's the survival rate of open heart surgery? Boom. Turns out that it is 96% on the low side. What? I mean, for real. So what I actually found out is that this is just bizarre, that so many people were failing, and that was a problem, because at the time I was a real estate agent. I sucked at sales. I also knew that if I didn't know how to talk to people, explain to them how I can help them, show them my value, that people weren't going to work with me. And if people didn't work with me, I didn't have a business. So what was I doing? Going into a business that had 87% failure rate. And I didn't know it at the time until 2 years in. And I am part of the 87%. There is virtually no instruction out there on lead gen or on how to speak to prospects. So this is a problem. Like, why are so many agents failing? How is this not part of the curriculum to actually teach you how to be an agent? But 87% of an industry really couldn't get it together. This is a little bit fishy. So then the question comes down to, what are you going to do to differentiate yourself? What are you going to do to make sure that you are not that part of the industry? And what I'm going to share with you next is really going to make a big difference, because what I'm going to share with you next is going to be the thing that stands out, the 87% from the 13%, from the 87% of people who can't get themselves together to the 13% of people who are rocking it. So what I'm going to show you is the difference between living at cause and living at effect. Living at cause is living above the line. It is living in the green zone. Living at effect is living in the red. So every day we're making decisions. We're either making green line decisions, which keep us going up in our life, or we make red line decisions that make us go down in life. And so right now, there is a direct effect on the long-term productivity, on the long-term success of this thinking. So pay attention to this. And you may even want to take some notes and write this stuff down, because living at cause will cause you to live proactively. You can think of living at cause as living proactively. You can think of living at effect as living at effect of your surroundings, or reactively. Okay? So let's talk a little bit about what these might look like. If you are an action taker, you are living at cause. If you are slow to take action and you delay, this is your at effect. If you are solution-based, you are living at cause. If you are problem-focused, or solution-focused at cause, problem-focused at effect. And then we have acceptance and judgment. Are you accepting of people, or are you judging them? Results, or do you have excuses and reasons? Are you accepting feedback as feedback and lessons, or are you just giving up because you didn't get it the first time? Okay. Again, we've got faith. Are you living in faith? Are you making decisions based on faith, or are you living in fear and letting fear dictate what you do? We've got trust and we've got doubt. Are you trusting of the universe? Are you trusting of people? Are you trusting the process, or are you doubting every step of the way? Are you making choices, or are you feeling stuck? Because if you're feeling stuck, change your choices. Get out of that at effect. Get above the line. Get above the line thinking. Clarity. This is clear on your pathway, clear on where you're going. And living in abundance. Are you living in abundance thinking, yes, I'm going to help everybody in the office. We're all going to help each other be awesome real estate agents? Or are you feeling like you're in competition because there's only a limited number of people out there? Because if you feel as though there's a limited number of people out there, there's only so many leads coming in, this is what is scarcity. Okay. There are billions of people out there. There is so much abundance in the world. Once you start realizing all of the abundance, your mind is just like, there is endless possibility out in the world, in the universe. Hope and helpless. Are you hopeful, or are you feeling helpless? The last one, I didn't do the animation right, over here on the left, is skepticism. Now, there's a lot of people out there who are skeptical of people online. And this is almost like a disease or like a pandemic that is going around online, because we all know social media is the kind of it's the thing to deliver your message on now, because everybody's there. It's kind of like going to a party and wearing a shirt with like, hey, here's all my stuff. Advertising yourself. Okay, so skepticism, the opposite of that is belief. Because, you can find evidence to back up anything that you want to believe. For instance, you can even go online and find out reasons why water is bad for you. You can find out why vegetables are bad for you. But obviously, you know that that's not true. But it doesn't mean that you can't find the evidence. So this is where you take the initiative to change your thinking, change the baseline of where your thoughts come from. Are you living in belief, or are you living in skepticism? And a lot of people will say they're open-minded, and so this is what they want to be, but a lot of times your ego is the thing that is holding you down below the line. It is holding you back in fear and throwing skepticism in your field of vision to keep you stuck. So your ego is going to hold you down to try to keep you safe. So I've got a next slide. It's a little bit of a messy slide. And what I want to do is to take a look at this middle column, because this middle column where it says family, friends, relationship, well, all these, this is what I want to compare to the chart that we had up here. Let me drop this here. Okay. Think about these categories in relation, like what words do you use to describe your family? How do you think about your friends? How do you think about your relationships? This could be friend relationships, romantic relationships, familial relationships, coworker relationships. How is your health? How is your wealth, self, and life goals? Like all of these things, these are the things that are really going to differentiate you from above the line thinking and below the line thinking. And I just took the graphic off so it faded. Okay. So a couple of things going below the line. If we're living at effect, you're blaming your situation on others, or you're held captive by circumstances. You've got reasons, excuses, depressed and anxious, try to doing everything alone. And then if you're living at cause, you have results and look for others to help. And so I want to ask you at the bottom here, for how much longer would you like to hold on to this pain, hurt, guilt, fear, sadness, worry, disappointment with where you are in your life, in your health, wealth, and relationships? Because if you're not interested in holding on to it anymore, I have the exact blueprint showing you what the top % of real estate agents know that the 99% do not, or I should say the 87% do not. So just to kind of bring everybody up to speed. Oh, by the way, the blueprint I'm going to give to you for free today. So real quick, who is Kat Rich? The agents call me the lead generation coach, and this is a photo from a speaking event I did. The knowledge I've collected over the past 8 years now. I'm condensing all of the stuff that I know into the shortest amount of time tonight and only pulling out a lot of the patterns that I see. And so I'm sure you'll want to know more, and we'll have a chat in a strategy session as well. So just real quick, here is one of the books I've written. This is the Find Sellers, Get Listing, Make Money. This is my latest book in 2022. Before that, I have written a For Sale by Owner book. I have all sorts of guides, all sorts of courses. I've been on podcasts. I've got a sales course. I've been on other people's show as well. So I want to introduce you real quick to somebody called Pamela. Now, she was one of my former students who got 2 contracts in her first week. Now, Pamela had already been an agent for 4 years, which means she was coming up on that 5th year, and she was about to let her license lapse and not continue. So what did she do? Jumped into my program because she wasn't getting any results or support from her company. And she came to me for this initial, like she sat on one of these webinars too. And then we hopped on, we had a quick chat on the phone. We got crystal clear on what she wanted. I looked at some of the challenges that were getting in her way for her with her strategy. And then I gave her some tools to work on, and she basically adapted it to her situation. After the strategy session, she jumped onto the program and she was able to get 2 clients right away by focus on one specific strategy. And she got really good at that. And here's the thing with Pamela. At the beginning, she was super skeptical that it would even work. And she said she had tried this before with no luck, but we tweaked a couple of things and she was able to see the results. And she actually got through and got her clients. And she had also tried other mentor programs before without results. So she joined in February, like 1 year ago, because she was about to get fired from her company for lack of results. When she joined Katapult, we got her on the right path, and she was able to save her real estate career. Cindy, I want to introduce you to Cindy, who was actually another one of my former students. She ended up getting 3 contracts her first month that she was with me. And Cindy was a single mom. She actually had a husband that had passed away. She had always been she was a stay-at-home mom her whole life until her husband passed away. Then she suddenly had to go into the workforce. So she jumped into to real estate because she's got 2 kids at home, 2 kids in high school who she was still taking care of. So when Cindy came in, though, she was low confidence. She didn't know how to talk to people. Her company was giving her leads, but she didn't know what to do but she didn't know what to say to them. She didn't know how to work a CRM. She did not really have any system. So what do? We got crystal clear on what she wanted to go, where she was, looked at some of the challenges that were standing in her way, gave her some tools to work on. She adapted it to her situation. And in the first month, she was able to get 3 contracts. And in the first 2 months, she got 2 of those actually closed. So she got paid and on her way with that. So even though it looks shiny and bright right now, it wasn't always sunshine and rainbows. It wasn't always rainbows and waterfalls. There was a lot of tears that I had trying to figure things out, having setbacks. And so I also just want to check in with you guys, because this is also a weird thing to introduce about myself. But when I moved to my area and started real estate, I actually had no network. I did not have a huge following. I never ran any ads, and I definitely don't post every day. So I want you guys to drop in the chat, what is your score for this? Are you 0 for 3 like I was? Are you 1 out of 3? Are you 2 out of 3? Where are you? Drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. I want to see a 0, 1, 2, or 3. Where are you? Where are you on yours? Because I am a boom, boom, boom. I am a 0 out of 3. Drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. Okay, okay. Yeah, likewise. Okay. And I say this because you're in the right place. This is the place for you. And the reason I bring this up is because I want to let you know that and I also want to make sure that you are absolutely certain that you know that this can work for you. And this is absolutely for everyone. I mean, I came from the humblest of beginnings, and if I can do it, you can too. And all these other people I'm about to show you also did it as well. Okay. And so what I actually want to talk to you about is many of you may be wondering kind of what do I do to grow the business beyond what it is today, right? And so that's kind of what I've run into, and many of you have probably run into before. So all of the business owners right now, we understand there's a gap from where you are today to where you want to be, okay? And all of you guys are aware of your gap, right? I mean, I'm sure most of you have seen that, right? What's the gap? It could be the number of clients that you have. Maybe it's 0 and you want 5 this week. Maybe you have 10 and you want 25. You may be at 3 transactions for the year, but you want 23. Okay. You might be at $2,000 income a month and you want to be at 20,000 income a month. So wherever you are today is the now, and wherever you want to go is the green. And so there is this gap. And so what do you do? How do you get from now to your goal, from here to there? How do you get from where you are now to where you want to be? And it can feel daunting. You might think, I don't even know how to get to the other side. I just can't jump off the cliff. I just can't climb up the side of the mountain, right? So there's this gap. And so there's this big secret of how do you get from where you are in your business to how do you get to where you want to be, okay? And so I want to tell you that for those of you who've been in my community for a while, this is not a big aha. You already know you need to find it's a 3 steps to finding wait for it, come on now. There it is. Creating your unique catapult combination. Now, this is the thing that you unlock to actually aim your catapult. So we're going to talk about that today. But do you understand that the combination is the thing to actually grow your incoming leads faster, basically help other agents send you referrals, which in turn means that your business will grow faster. Okay, this is like the big secret, the big aha. And this is what the multi-million-dollar companies are doing too. This is such a powerful concept to understand because this is actually the key to being more than average, more than the 87% of failures. You're going to look into the 13%. So as long as you're open-minded, you're going to hear some things today that may sound against logical, but I want you to know it's because we're not going to be failures. So we're not going to do what everybody else is doing. We're going to do the opposite. Okay. What I mean by opposite is that so many agents out there are fishing with an empty hook. They got nothing out there. They don't know who they're fishing for. They just think, well, I'll just put my hook out there and, hope somebody bites it. And this is just not a good strategy. So what we call this is the red ocean. Like there's so many hooks down there and there's so much competition. Like red ocean is the blood in the water. Hope you got that. Like there's blood in the water. There's so much competition and there's just all these empty hooks hanging around and really nobody's winning. So what we want to do is we want to put a worm on your hook. We want to give you some kind of bait because you're going to be the one that all the fish are looking at. Fish being the prospects, if that wasn't clear. Okay. So you are going to be the hook. You're going to put some bait there and actually get into your client. So in case you've got any doubts, I just want to talk about the red ocean real quick. If you have ever said these words, call me to list your house. If you ever need an agent, I'll be your agent. Then you have nothing on your hook. Basically, you're not offering any value. You're not offering anything. So what we do when we find your catapult combination is we start with what kind of fish are you looking for? And then create a bait that type of fish wants to eat. So that your strategy ends up looking like this with a lot of hungry fish. Okay, and so what I really want to talk about is going to, if you think about going to the doctor, right? So a general practitioner is just a generalist. They're like, oh, you're a little bit more serious than a cough or a cold. You know what? Go to see this specialist. And so what they do is they refer you out. You often have to book in, get on their schedule for 6 to 8 weeks, and probably pay that specialist a little bit more because they know they have that expertise. So for instance, an eye specialist does eyes. They don't do skin, legs, bones, muscles, brains, right? The more you niche down, the more you can charge and the less competition there is, as well as the less you are going to have more targeted marketing. Other people don't know about this, which is ridiculous because YouTube University is out there. So the punishment though, if you do not niche, is that it's going to be so hard for you. You're going to endure the fate of the 87%. So the consequences, the punishment for the hanging that you'll experience as a agent if you don't niche is that you're going to be battling competition for the rest of your career because you're going to be living in this red ocean of the same number of people as there are agents. And so your job is going to be to figure out ways to be different, get ahead of the game, and stand out from the crowd. Basically, raise your authority in other ways, and then people will not be able to undercut you by chopping their prices. The second punishment that you'll get if you do not niche is that you're going to be so desperate for people, you're going to accept anybody who walks your way. You're going to have to deal with like pain in the ass clients. You won't be able to be picky and choosy with your clients. And that's going to be unfulfilling for you as well. It's going to feel like work when you're working with those difficult clients. And the third consequence of you not niching down is that you're going to remain in that same 87% as all of those other bloodied fish. So you have to get to over here, this blue ocean, and actually choose your fish that are living over here. So what I want to do for you today is to actually set this up and let you know if you have failed at generating leads in the past, this is not your fault. If you have been concerned that you cannot get leads with social media, you can put those fears to rest. You may think the market is saturated with agents, think you can't stand out. That's not true, not at all. And if you've ever thought that your real estate company isn't helping you, you're probably right. So I'm here to show you a weird marketing hack to get hundreds of leads a week without a huge following, without paid ads, and without posting every day over the next hour or so. So my goal for you is to know these two things, that the only way for you to catapult your business is through finding your combination. And the way you're going to do that is by aiming your catapult. Okay, so are you guys ready? I want you to type in ready in the chat. Ready in the chat, ready in the chat. Okay, all right, I got it ready. Let's move on. Okay, on with the show real quick. what is lead gen? So a lot of people I talk to are they're like, oh, okay, so with lead gen, I hear people telling me to do lead gen, but I'm not really sure what it is all about. So is it okay? If it's okay, I'm going to take like 30 seconds to just run through what lead gen is and how it works. Because some of you are thinking, oh my God, 100 leads? That's not very much. Some of you are thinking, oh my God, 100 leads, that's a ton of leads. So let's break it all down. Break it down, break it down. Okay, so lead gen, basically it's a 3-step process. Think of it like dating. Like, hey, I'm a beautiful woman. I'm gonna go to the bar, put on my makeup, and I'm gonna attract a man, right? I'm gonna attract him. I'm gonna get his awareness and attention. And this is what your marketing is gonna do. So we need to make you very attractive. The next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna initiate, basically break the ice and say, hey, you come here often. You're gonna start the conversation and start to build that relationship. That's initiating. And then you are gonna, hey, you want to get out of here. You're going to take them out. You're going to move them to action and motivate them to meet. Okay. So this is basically lead gen. So you got to meet them, chit chat, and then move them to your client. Okay. So there we go. That's lead gen. And that takes them from cold to hot. Okay. So a few things. If this is not your first webinar, if you have ever sucked at lead generation in the past, it is not your fault. Okay. If you're afraid that you'll never be successful in your real estate career, just put those fears to rest. Brokerage, companies, mentorship, websites, other lead subscription services are making you dependent on them so you don't learn how to do it on your own. And then you feel as though you need to pay for them because you don't know how to get leads on your own. They are absolutely wrong. They all own you. So if you have ever felt sabotaged because there has been zero instruction on how to generate your leads, how to be that attractive woman standing at the bar, how to put on makeup for your marketing, you're absolutely right. You have been wronged. And today is the last day because it all ends today. Okay. So this is all sounds groovy so far. Here is kind of how I even stumbled upon this whole thing. So I started out as a music teacher in 2015. I was teaching elementary music and I was just perpetually just out of money. And it started, I had already been a music teacher for 10 years. I was doing awesome things. I was like writing musical shows. I was doing awesome things. I was changing lives, getting kids to fall in love with music. And then I was just so over being broke that I really wanted to travel overseas. I really wanted to just be the one who knew more because I was just from this tiny little town. So teaching was not building this dream life for me. My first move was to take a job overseas, same job, but just in a different country. And even there, I really wasn't making much. I didn't have much money. And I do remember there was in October at the beginning of the school year that I traveled with my friends during the break. And then I came back and I had just had too much month left at the end of my paycheck. And that was the end. Like that October, I said, this is the end. It's time for a change. And so there's me at the first school, second school. And while I'm going through this whole life transition, I read this book. And he is rubbing the fog off of the mirror of business. And at the time I was living in Dubai, I got to see the power of real estate, meet a lot of people who made a lot of money with real estate. And so this book was like a slap in the face and a freaking mind paradigm changer. If you have not read this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, this is the book most people quote, most real estate investors, most real estate agents quote as the book to change your life. So basically, I read that and I said, okay, I am done with teaching. I'm ready to move on with life. At the time I was living in Dubai, ready to, not really sure what I was doing. My brother has a little baby. And of course I fall in love with this little baby. I say, well, done with Dubai, pack up all my stuff, move to Florida. And here is really where my real estate story begins. I grew up in Virginia. Remember, moving to Florida, I have zero network. I hadn't even been in the US for the past 8 years. And so coming here, I was super fresh and new. So I was pretty naive in thinking that I would that my brokerage would tell me everything I needed to know about how to market myself and generate leads that actually stand out. And it seemed that my company actually wasn't so interested in my success, because all they said was, call your sphere, call your sphere. And I was like, my sphere is in Virginia, my sphere is in Dubai. And they didn't really have an answer for me on that one. So they said, okay, just send out letters, say positive affirmations, go meet people. Okay. So at the whole time I'm still trying to, number one, learn how to reintegrate into society. Number two, I have to go out and meet people and then talk about a business that I just got into I didn't have any idea about. So at the time, my real dream was just to support my brother because he had moved to Florida, I don't know, like years ago, and he was now working nights at the Hard Rock Casino, and he made just enough money to get by. And I really wanted to take care of him and his family and my aging parents. I really wasn't getting anywhere for the first 2 years I was doing this. And this became apparent to me that I wasn't getting what I needed. And this is really where I started doing all of this research and found out about the 87%. So I was like, you know what? Let me just join a bunch of mailing lists. I went to a ton of real estate meetings, real estate agent meetings, real estate investor meetings. I thought, well, I just need to meet somebody. Somebody needs to help me do this. I just need a mentor. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Is there anybody else out there who can relate to this gung-ho kind of mentality? Anybody else who is like, you know what? I'm just going to go do something. It's better than nothing. Anybody else out there feel like that? Trying to figure stuff out? So okay. So to make things worse, I was living with my parents when I first came back because, of course, remember, I was living in Dubai for 8 years, had all this. I came back with like 8 boxes of stuff plus 2 bikes. I was living with my parents and I really felt bad about the situation because I was supposed to be the one to take care of them. But I was living in their house because I didn't have my own place. I was actually not able to make enough money to move out. My brother was still working overnights. I felt like a failure. I was a failure as an entrepreneur, as a leader, as that outgoing extrovert who everybody said would be great at sales. But I was not. And I was supposed to be the one to make the change. So after 2 years, I was faced then with the decision, like, do I give up my license? I hadn't made any money. And nobody likes giving up on their dreams. The problem was I had already changed companies and I had started working with this one team, which was now an investor team, which gave me tons of leads. So the first time I was trying, hey, like these guys, they were like, get leads, get leads, get leads, call your sphere. I was like, okay, let me call all these people in Virginia, even though I'm licensed in Florida. Anyway, so I got on a bunch of mailing lists. These guys said, hey, come join our team. And I said, okay, you're going to give me leads. That is the end of the road. That's the thing that I need. Awesome. I'm in, right? I was like, oh, this is it. This is my dream job. Well, they gave me tons of leads and I was not able to close them. I was great at the conversations. I was great at making friends. I could not close a door on a lead. And so I just want to let you know, if you think that being an extrovert is being an introvert is a disadvantage or being an extrovert is advantageous, let me tell you, it does not come down to that because I am one of the most personable people that you will meet and I could not close. So I thought the thing that I needed, those leads, were going to be it. Once I got those, it was a done deal. I was already counting the thousands I was going to make. Well, that didn't happen. So on with the show, I really just fell into a depression after this, realizing just how not special or gifted. I didn't have the gift of sales that I thought I would, like everybody told me I would. So, like, what was it? What did I need to do? How was I not being successful? At this point, I sent a message up to the universe and I just said, I'm out of ideas. Please help. Okay, went to bed that night, slept. In the morning, this I got a phone call from somebody who asked me the dreaded question. The dreaded question. And this was, hey, how's business going? Oh, how could she ask me that? Oh, it was like the one thing I didn't want to talk about, such a pain point in my heart. Well, it was difficult for me to admit things weren't going well because I'm such a positive person, but things weren't going well. I told her I didn't really know what else to do. She invited me out to breakfast. And of course I said, no, I'm no good. You don't want me. I can't help you at all. She's like, no, come on out. Come on out to breakfast. This is an agent I had met in one of the phone calls that I had made from the investor team. So after multiple asking, after she eventually convinced me to come out with her, I had all of this junk going on in my head. Okay, all of this junk looks like this. I was like, no, I'm worthless. You don't want me. I don't know what I'm doing. I am useless. I can't get any leads for you. There's nothing special about me. I'm not worth your time. If you have ever had these thoughts, can you do hashtag head trash in the chat? Hashtag head trash. Hashtag head trash. Drop it in the chat. If you have ever had any of these thoughts, because this was my swimming pool. Like, this was the things that were going on in my head. Like, I was not happy with anything going on. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, Ryan. Oh, 100%. So I have all of this doubt. I have all of this doubt going on. And she's like, no, actually, all you need is the right process, training, strategy, and just some accountability. And I was like, I don't think that's my problem. Don't be crazy. I am super dedicated. But I was like, you know what? Sure, whatever. Don't be surprised though when I suck and you fire me too. And I was like, but I got nothing else going on right now. Sure, let's do this. Well, turns out that was kind of what I needed. It was here that I started seeing some pieces get put together. And this is the list of people that she gave me. This was the dialer that she gave me and said, here, upload this into this dialer and call these numbers, say these words. And over the next 4 months, I called a targeted list of people, like 250 calls a day, like people with a specific problem. They were late on payments, expired, FSBO, divorce. And when I was working with that other team, the investment team, this girl, she and I only got in contact because when you have a house that's going through a short sale or that is valued at less than the mortgages, it's a short sale. So this girl, this lady, was referred to me because she was a short sale specialist. And I needed her for this investment property that I was in contact with. So it was interesting how we even got in contact. Then she had a best friend who spoke Spanish. And all of her leads that I was in contact with who didn't speak English would get referred to her. So these were two specialists in their field. So there were also some people who thought their mobile home was real property, but in practice, mobile homes are a personal property if they're unrented. Mobile homes are personal property, except the land is sometimes real property. So when I would get in touch with those people, like, our agents couldn't help them because they're real estate licensed, and we had to refer them out to a mobile home dealer. What all this meant was that the team that I was on, everybody had their own job. I was the lead generation specialist. I would generate the leads right there. I would generate the leads and then set the appointments for the agents who were on the team. So basically I did like all that calling, and there's some of our rewards. And my job was called ISA. That's inside sales agent. So basically I was generating leads for everybody on the team. And after working with them for about 4 months, it was crystal clear to me how having a conversation with specific language patterns, which actually led the prospects into choosing us to be the agents they work with, was the thing that I needed. I was no longer nervous to speak to the prospect. I was no longer not able to close anything because I knew exactly what the outcome was that I was driving them towards. So you guys want to hear something funny? When I was working with these guys back up here, I thought that, oh, that's a long way back. I thought that closing a sale meant from the very first conversation, when you got on the phone with them, you had to agree on a selling price and a date of closing. And those are the two things. I was like, okay, it's our first conversation. I was like, always be closing, always be, okay, let's sell your house for this amount. And they'd be like, maybe, but we need to do a few more things. So fast forward again. And it's just funny that that's what I thought sales was. So turns out there's a few more steps. Our team wasn't huge though. So you see, it looks like a lot of people here, this guy over here on the right and this guy over here on the left, they were not on the team. They were like the team leader of the whole office. And then the other guy was the owner. And so we had maybe 4 or 5 agents on the team, but we ended up getting 177 transactions the first year. And then the next year we had about 240 transactions. So I was setting appointments and having about 8 to 16 pendings a month. And then, they just kind of closed whenever they did. So I started being asked to train other agents on other real estate teams. And I started answering the same questions, having to go through the same explanations and basically saying the same thing over and over again. So I created a course. It was called 5 Secrets to Never Lose a Lead. And this was all about cold calling out. And I was starting to create all these training videos to reach more people so that I could actually impact more lives. So I started going into Facebook groups and actually finding agents to help practice my teaching to this. And so this is kind of how I got involved with the whole Facebook marketing. Is I started, finding out the things that were working on Facebook in order to get my content seen. Like, hey, because there's a lot of support groups for agents, which is what I was going into. Basically, I got a group of agents. I started training them on how to speak to prospects using this framework, 5 Secrets to Never Lose a Lead. We created a couple of versions of the course, and then I was off and running with that one. However, one of the questions that a lot of the agents were asking was like, hey, where do I get leads? I don't know if you guys know, kind of in this time frame was when COVID hit, and there were like the car warranty was just ablaze on the automated phones. So many people got on the do not call list. Anyway, things changed a little bit, and cold calling wasn't the awesomeness that it was before. In the end, I started really like teaching really is my passion more than the sales, more than just cold calling. I hired a business coach. He said, well, you need to do this weird, almost backwards marketing technique in order to really explode your sales. And I thought what he was saying was super crazy until it started working. So I asked, hey, all the, that group of agents I was working with, if they wanted to do this weird marketing hack too. And of course they did. So we started implementing a lot of the same principles that I was using, and the system started working. They were getting the same explosive results. So I already showed you Pamela. I already showed you Cindy. Rose was also in this group. Amanda was in this group. Renee was in this group. Chris was in this group. And pretty much we just started getting good review after review after review into this was the key. This was the key I was looking for. Here is what it comes down to. The answer is Katapult Lead Gen, and it is needing your Katapult combination. I'm going to say combination here. The Katapult Lead Gen combination. Okay. And the way to find the combination is to aim. So you need the combination, find the combination by aiming. Okay. So after not being active on Facebook, posting only 1 to 2 times a year, like Thanksgiving and maybe my birthday, maybe Christmas, for the past 10 years, having a tiny friends list of less than 1,000 people, being nervous to be on video, unsure of what my friends would think, I created Katapult Lead Gen. And I can now create a Facebook lead gen strategy for anyone, plan it, schedule it, and not have to post every day. Basically, the posts do a bulk, 80% of the relationship building for me so that my leads show up warm, already knowing me, and therefore converting. And it's so much better than trying to convert a cold audience. Okay. So I started to then teach other agents on how to use the Katapult Lead Gen. Here are some testimonials on how to do this. So within just 6 months, over 30 agents have gone through Katapult Lead Gen to add lead flow in there to fuel their business. In fact, by not having to spend as much time on creating content and speaking, on doing all that cold calling, the Katapult agents are able to spend more time focusing on their clients, relaxing, just knowing that there's a plan in place to take on more listing appointments. So in today's webinar, let's actually blow through these secrets quite quickly. Okay, the first one is your lead gen strategy isn't working, but you know what? It's not your fault. Really, it's easy to fix too. Okay, the second one is we're going to talk about how to use your content to literally just explode your sales, even if you suck at selling. And the third thing we're going to talk about is how to make getting referrals and clients the easiest thing in your business. So just to let you know, I'm going to skip over some slides because I listened back to my recording and there's some unnecessary stuff. And I've also added some extra stuff. Okay, so let's talk about your secret number one. Lead gen strategy isn't working. Okay, like I told you in the beginning, they were not super clear on what they were telling me to do. Good directions, but didn't really tell me how to do it. Okay, they were like, hey, call your sphere. I'm like, I got no sphere. I just got here. They're like, hey, market yourself. How do I do that? I don't know what that is. Send out letters. Who am I sending them to? What am I saying? You know, so they were telling me to do things, but I had no basis on even knowing what to do. Then I got to these guys, worked at the home buyer guys. They were like, okay, we're going to teach you everything you need to know. They gave me tons of leads, great at making conversations, still couldn't convert them. They fired me. I'm extroverted, still not good at sales. I thought extrovert was the key to everything. Nope, it's not. So let's talk a little bit about what it looks like to even have a sales cycle. So we've got two sides. The first side is the lead generation side, where you collect people, connect to them, you convert them. The other side is fulfillment, where you conduct the business. This is the fulfillment part, conduct the business, and then you celebrate afterwards, basically keep them in the family. If you can master these 5 steps, you are going to have a catapulted real estate business. Remember this? My brokers are saying, okay, do all these things. Okay, but how? How do I do this? Actually, those were not good directions. They were okay things to do, but you know, it's kind of like drive a car, but how do I drive a car, right? The right way to do it, find the problems to solve, invite to solve the problems, and then solve the problems. Okay. I want to introduce you to Rose. She was just coming in. She was trying to renew her real estate license because she didn't want to go back to bartending. She ended up just having this huge realization that leads are not everything. And she stayed in real estate instead of going back to bartending. And here is the thing with Rose. She came in and the very first thing that she said was, I'm too lazy to be a real estate agent. I'm too lazy. So what we did is we actually had a strategy session, talked about the balance of things in her life, actually helped her overcome some of her things And she was able to move past that. She was able to overcome the things in her situation. Remember how we talked about above the line thinking and below the line thinking? This was that she was way below the line. She was being held down by everything. Once we started reframing her thoughts, she was able to move above the line. So she had above the line thinking. So the biggest area that agents really trip up on is not just leads, but it's actually on building their business on a foundation of sand with a very Me Too offer. And basically this does not work because of two reasons. Number one, if you are the same as everybody else, you are now devaluing yourself, because the only thing to make you stand apart from everybody is giving them more value, saying, hey, I'm different because my price is lower. Instead of that, we actually want to show them how much higher your value is. Because when you take away your value, number one, you're not getting paid. Number two, you're not going to be able to work this business because you're not going to be getting paid for your work. You're just going to be just like everybody else, and you're not going to stay in the business. Okay, so basically the person that you are talking to has a problem, but the problem they have is probably knowing that they don't have a problem. So what you need to do is they need to know they have a problem. So you cannot be the solution if they don't know that you solve their problems. So what you need to do is find problems to solve, basically show them. You're going to marketing, attracting, prospecting, asking if they're attracted to you. So you know what? Let's get rid of the prospect. Okay, marketing, you're going to attract them. The second thing you're going to do is invite them to solve the problems. And the last one is actually solve the problems. Simple as that. If you were a chiropractor, what it might look like is, if you're a chiropractor, what problems do you solve? Oh, you've got sore muscles. Well, here, I'll give you a free adjustment. If you've got pain, then you're giving it a free adjustment. If you need to invite to solve the problems, hey, where does it hurt? Tell me what's going on. Remember, this is the break in the ice stage. And then actually solve the problems. Adjustment, stretching, acupuncture. Okay, this is where you close the sale. If we were to look at a sales cycle for dating, we might look at find the problems to solve. Oh, you're single? I'm single? Okay. We're going to look at some dating website pictures. See if you can be that attractive person to get the whichever side the swipe is. And then you are going to do some flirting, basically gauging interest, checking out the personality, building the relationship. And the last one is to solve the problems. So basically have a chat on the phone, do a consult, dinner date, something like that. Okay. Remember this girl? Remember how I told you I was jumping to the end? She's like, you know what? You're skipping steps. Just focus on the one thing. The one thing. Okay. Set the consult. And that was the biggest aha that I had. Okay, so we are going to speed through this next section. Okay. So the truth is, you can put a whole plan together to attract them, initiate the conversation, and then to meet them. So when I got put a system in place, I got really good at knowing where I was in the sales cycle, in the combination, and then I could see the pipeline about who was coming down and be asked in each lead source. What was going to happen or be? I knew what they were going to ask for each source of the lead. So like if I were talking to an expired, I knew what their problems were. Okay. So let's talk about how to create content to create conversations which convert viewers to clients, even if you suck at selling. So mental note to Kat, when I listen to the recording, here is where maybe you want to put in the hero's journey. Okay. Nope. We're not going to do that. Sorry, I've decided that's not what we really want. Sorry. Okay. There we go. So what we're going to discover is that your stories are going to actually help. Your stories are going to build the relationship. Build the relationships. And we use organic marketing so that you can actually get all of your content / ads seen for free. So when you collect people in a Facebook group, the content that you post in the group only gets seen by the people in the group. This way you can target your message. There's a couple of other ways too, but this is one of the big benefits of having a group in using Facebook. The whole reason you got into real estate was because you had a dream, you had a vision, or you had a dream, and it was fueled by your vision. Now, a lot of people, when they create content, forget this piece that humans really are driven by emotions. And I want you to go back in time to when you were first dreaming about or had that first thought of real estate. What was that picture in your mind? What was that moment you decided to go for it? Because at the end of your journey, you went through this whole transformation to become the agent that you are. You got so much information like laws, the square foot cost, this total price, and that you forgot about the emotion of the house or the real estate. You got into all of this details and numbers and the technobabble about all these details. What happens is that then people post all these sorts of things, which is not actually connecting to people. So what we want to do is not focus on the details and numbers, but we want to focus back on the vision, the dream, and speak through emotion. Okay, hold on a second. I had a, I don't know. I want to change this secret because I want to talk more about stories and less about other use things. So there is a story formula that this is why I want to talk about the hero's journey right here. I want to change some things around. But what you want to do, and just to give an example of some divorce real estate agent content and how to tell a story. It's not really a story though, so I'm kind of off topic. Is how to actually create content in a niche. Now, how do you know if you need a divorce coach? No, so this is my friend Cindy. She is a divorce coach, and basically she helps people going through divorce because emotions are crazy and hot and the emotional stability is not there, and really you just need somebody to talk to. So she put up this post. So often the traits in our partners we experience as social irritations, the qualities that initially drew us to. So she kind of wrote a story about that. So she's connecting. Another piece of her content was helping to bring out the problems that she solves. How do you know if you need a divorce coach? You're not thinking clearly, you're unfamiliar with the process, you're having a hard time getting past your anger and are constantly triggered, you're paralyzed by fear. And basically, she goes on to talk about all of the reasons that you need her in helpful ways, obviously, because if your emotions are going crazy, you might need something to anchor yourself on. This is why this is so powerful. So with the divorce niche, we brand our social media so the whole community knows about it. All of the content has helpful messages. We're going to have studies and statistics to help everybody realize. Imagine if you knew the process and the laws around it, you were able to write your own story, or about Airbnbs, or about working manual labor, I think, Sam. If you were able to help people to do this, or construction, I'm sorry, Sam, I don't really remember what it was that you did. That you would be able to create this awesome content. So I'm going to fly through this next part. Okay, because the truth is, when you are out there, you can actually find the exact questions to what people are asking. Okay, you go find the answers for them. And when you're finding the answers, you're actually learning all about that topic too, so that you become the expert. So it is super easy to create content when you've got the recipe. Okay, you guys excited? I know that maybe was a little lackluster, but we're going to move on. And both of you are going to work closely with me. So I'm not worried about this one. So some of you might be thinking that maybe you don't even want to choose a niche, or that you don't want to limit yourself. And I'm going to say, yes, you do. Because unless you want to fail, you don't need to help everyone. And so the thing is, you're not limiting yourself on who you can help. You're only limiting yourself on who you're marketing to. Okay, content creation goes on your personal profile or group. And so in order to move them through your sales cycle, we need to create conversations with the right people. Okay, and so the truth is, this is how to get your content to create conversations, which then convert viewers to clients, which was a little bit of a stretch to make happen. I skipped some slides. We'll go back and fix that another day. Moving on with life. So honestly, the difference between a strategy that makes money and a strategy that doesn't is your ability to create content that is specific to your person, which creates conversations. Whew. Yep. All right. So let's talk about secret number 3. And this one is my favorite. Woo, woo. Okay. So this is actually the secret sauce to your future life, because new agent strategies that beat experience. This is some other things that you might want to think about. This is what's going to beat experience. Okay. So here is my cold calling story. It was a very scary, hard way. Okay. So this is Kat. Maybe 3 years ago now, I had long hair, well, long short hair, and I had it pinned back. I was sort of on a similar path to you guys. I was trying to get in touch with people to sell their house, and I had been dialing before at another team, and this was, my investor team, and I'd get like 30 people a day, and I'd be talking to all these people. When I first came to the real estate team, I was shocked that they were actually calling 180 people a day. I was like, all ready to do the hustle and grind when you're trying to make shit work. But the team leader was like, okay, we only want to focus on sellers. So you have this list of 1,000 people who want to sell their house, but are not listed with an agent. Call them over the course of a month. And what I found is that about 25% of them picked up. So basically, I'm having a conversation with about 250 people a month, right? Like 20 people a day or so. And then there's only one person for every 20 who is going to make an appointment. So I'll do some drawing real quick. So if I was going to have, I'm going to do a closing. So I have one closing. So that means I have to have 2 pendings, or 2 pending contracts. That means I got to have 4 listings. That means I got to have 8 appointments. This is the 50% conversion. 8 appointments. To get an appointment, I have to speak to, so every 1 out of 20 book an appointment. So 8 times 20 is what, 160? I have to speak to 160 people. This is a mistake. 160 convos. To get 160 convos, I had an answer rate of 25%. So this was what, times, oh gosh, help me with math, 75 or so. I don't know, something big. I'm gonna just call this 100 and say 400, maybe like 500 or something. I just guess at things. I guess at math. All right. And so I had to then call 500 people. So this is kind of how this all comes about with the numbers. All of this is really to say that I was not loving cold calling. I was ready to reach out to more people and have it be more efficient. Okay, so what did I do? Let me ask you guys, how many of you have ever wondered how to find sellers before they list with an agent? How many of you have ever wondered that? Can you write B4 or letter B and the number 4? B4 in the chat. B4 in the chat. B4 before they listed. Whoops. Yeah, awesome. Awesome. Cool, cool. So some people think that it is your job to convince people to sell their house, but that's wrong. Homeowners who call an agent have already been thinking about this for a long time. So what are we going to do to actually get ahead of that? We are going to go ahead and put our hook out there, but we're not just going to put it out there naked. We're actually going to put something on there to let them know we're the one for you. I'm the one. I'm the one that you want. So your future past clients are already there. They just simply haven't met you yet. And it's your job to go where they already are and introduce yourself. I don't know if you guys do this, like you're talking and all of a sudden you're like, say a word and you just want to start singing the song. Maybe that's the musician in me. All right, so you have about 4 different categories. Like, how do you find your people? Well, they're in 4 different categories. There might be in lifestyle, property type, like life event, micro area, and all of these are those niches that we were talking about earlier. So how do you find your people? The first thing is we got to find out where they hang out. Okay, so if we're going to talk about lifestyle, we're going to look at motorcycles, CrossFit, this LGBT community, veterans. I found this Dungeons and Dragons group, and then I'm into bikes. So bicycles. Property type would be like Airbnb, would be mobile homes, equestrian. Like over on this one here. I don't know, townhomes. A life event might be a divorce, getting sued, getting debt, probate, an inherited house, maybe new parents, newborn babies. Micro area would be a small, oh, I animated this. A small area, like there's this community called Waterset near me, and it's thousands of homes, and they've got a couple of clubhouses. So it's a huge neighborhood. It's great. There's another one called Mirabay. There's maybe that's not appropriate or not within the micro area. So there's all of these different niches. So the next thing you do, you go to Facebook groups and find it there. You go to Facebook groups, you find your people there, and you invite them to your party. You create a Facebook group because you're going to have a couple of different flavors. First one, invite them to your party. You're going to find your people. Find a group for your local area. Use the keywords so that they can actually find you. Like use veterans in Charlotte, Airbnb owners in Austin. And then invite people from the neighborhood groups. Produce all of that contagious content around a specific local topic, like maybe restaurants, sushi restaurants in Los Angeles. And then go to other groups and comment. You're not asking for business. You're going to comment in the other groups. And then they're going to come and see your profile. And they're going to accept your friend request or join your group. And what this is going to do, this is going to not only, you can invite your people that are local as well as have a group for agents and actually teach them about your topic. And this is really going to be how to attract your referrals. Find your network with other agents. Find your other agents. Basically, create a group for agents. Invite listing agents in your town. You want people with big databases. Use the keywords for your area so they can find you. Produce that content around your niche. You are going to establish yourself as the authority in this. And when people see somebody doing the same thing over and over again, they're going to start to associate that niche with them. Like we had a guy on our real estate team, and he did inherited houses. Like that was kind of his thing. That anytime we got an inherited house or a probate, it would go to Sam, or Grant was the guy's name. So that's how you do it. That's your 3-step process, how you find your people. So let me give you a quick tip though. The money is in your database. I'm sure you've heard this. I'm sure you have heard this before. Here's a little bit of a database math. Here's what they say. So average of 7 out of 100 people, they say 7, 8, but I always go conservative. So 7 out of 100 people in your database will do a real estate transaction each year. Now, this really comes down to how engaged the agent is with their database. And here is how to stay engaged. 2022, the average home price was $348. And again, I go down because I just want to make it conservative and I want to be easy math. Okay, so we do about a 3% commission. If one transaction is $9,000, we just take away half of that for other fees and whatever, and then you ended up with like $4,500. Okay, now you got 100 contacts in your database. Sorry, I'll stop yelling. That's 7 transactions, 7 times 4,500. You're looking at $31,000 a year. You get 200 contacts in your database. That's 14 transactions. 14 times this is $63,000 a year. If you got 400 contacts, $126,000 a year. If you got 500 contacts, you're getting $157,000 a year. Now, this is if everybody on your database uses you, which may not happen, but it might. And what you could do to even average more is that there is a direct correlation between business that calls you and the relationship you have with your database. So we are going to move towards these numbers because we want to have this work for you. So what we do is we put out lead magnets to build your database. Here's a lead magnet that I put out. I attracted people to it. And for those of you who have email automation set up, they should be dropping into an email sequence. You're starting to build a relationship with them. So you might be asking at this point, what follow-up sequence do I send? And this is down to the art of marketing. So marketing is both a science and an art, and here is the art part. We do different types of emails. So get to know you. If you've got a bunch of people on your list or haven't heard from you in a while, you are going to revive them because your whole goal is to stay on top of the mind. So how do you do that? Through stories, through talking about yourself, what's going on in your daily life. Basically, anything that you might call a friend to talk about is what you would put in here. Not your intimate partner, not that kind of like, but just, in a casual way, like, hey, I went to the strawberry festival today, saw this, this, and this. My nephew rode the strawberry coaster. It was really awesome. Here's a life lesson I made out of it. Okay. Because we want them to know who you are, what you do, how you do it, how you learned it, who you do it for, how you can do it for them, and why you're their one. So you guys getting this? Are you guys getting the power of all of this cool stuff? Like this email list, this right here is just money, money, money right there. Okay. So the secret is to actually get the right people to find you online and actually make getting your referrals and clients the easiest thing in your business. Okay. This is the secret sauce to gather them. You guys starting to see the pieces come together? Can you see now how to build this 6-figure sales cycle on Facebook? How to start creating your catapult combination? Are you guys seeing this? So let me ask you a question. If you were able to attract your audience, chat with them, and then move them to meet, do you think that you could do this? If your content attracted sellers and referrals, you utilize those sales tactics embedded within your content, and you don't even need to try and sell anything, it just happens. Yeah. That brought in more, yeah. So if you knew how to create conversations without having to spend money on ads, And that is ultimately going to give you more business. Can you see now how this can turn into clients? Yeah. And so let me ask you another question. How many of you guys are starting to feel? Oh, sorry. How are you starting to see how? Are you starting to see how this can work for you? And I'm so excited to hear for the next one. How many of you guys feel like this right now? Yes, yeah. Feel like jumping on the couch. If you guys have little kids in your life, like it is like I don't know, like an attraction, like an addiction to jump on the bed or like jump on the furniture. So I'm sure if you've got little ones in your life, you are very much identifying with this jumping picture. So let me ask you, if I could make this easier and actually help you save a lot of time, resources, and energy in building out all of this for yourself. Okay, so I know I don't have your guys' attention for long, and I really want to get to the end of this. I want to wrap this up. So I want to know though, are you guys interested? How would you like for me to actually show you what it might look like to implement these strategies inside of your business today? Help you implement, number one, a Facebook strategy inside of your business, and number two, figure out which niche it is, and then figure out the combination that works for you. If you are excited to learn how to fix your lead gen strategy, how to use your content to actually sell, and then get the right people to find you online, I want you to, I want you to drop it in the chat right now. Drop a me, M-E in the chat, M-E in the chat. Okay, here's the game plan. Awesome, awesome. Okay, cool. Awesome. So I love you guys, and both of you guys have seen this pitch before, and here it is in real life. So here's the game plan. I'm going to walk through everything I can as quick as I can. I'm going to actually time myself. Okay, and I appreciate that we're in this and all this offer. I appreciate this game, and this is literally one of the best offers I have put together. And I've been in this business for 7 years. I've been doing coaching now for about 2 years. And just this year, because I had a birthday a few months ago, this is a very special offer put together to move you forward quickly. Okay, here is what you're going to get. Okay, what you're going to get when you enroll in the Katapult Results is going to be a premium course that is going to teach you how to design beautiful and professional content, high converting, that is going to explode your sales. And again, all of this without huge following, paid ads, or posting every day. And the number one thing that you're going to get is I want to make sure you have access to the Katapult. And it's not only going to be 6 months of the Katapult Vault, you're going to have unlimited, okay? Unlimited. So what our platinum members get is profile billboard graphics. And what that really means is that you are going to get banners created for you. You're going to get the chat sequence scripts. You're going to get self-paced videos and more, which means that you're going to be able to learn how to deliver yourself as a solution. You're going to be able to conduct a successful consultation, establish your authority in the area, and stand out from the other agents. You are going to build that know, like, and trust factor, be the trusted source, build the familiarity, and create connection to your community. You're going to be able to create content in any niche that you want, navigate Facebook groups to create that content, and I'll actually show you how to make 100 days of content in 1 weekend, which means that you're going to get rid of so much stuff. You're going to get rid of any lead service that you're paying for. You're going to get rid of web pages, any extra training that you're in, marketing materials. It's going to quiet the overwhelm. It's going to quiet any lack of direction that you've got. And the average catapulter gets 2 appointments in their first week of working the system. This shaves months off of their lead gen cycle time, saves over $1,000 a month by switching to Katapult Results. And basically, this teaches you why procrastination is a survival protection and how to thrive in productivity. A lot of agents find themselves more confident and able to trust themselves. If you're already a Katapult Results member, congratulations, you're already in. You got all of this. So you're going to get the Katapult Results 6-week course, value of $11,600. And how would you like us to hold you by the hand as you unlock your first Katapult combination, aiming your catapult. Okay, awkward, but we're going to move on. Okay, catapult to results. This is the group implementation coaching. So we're going to be able to give you feedback and check your work if you want. There's monthly content creation sessions. There is chat sequence help, sales mock calls. We're going to be able to give you live help to answer course questions or tech questions that you have and actually be there with you when you have an obstacle or lose motivation. You're going to have daily assignments, lessons, and accountability for setting the stage, building the fun, aiming your aiming your catapult, algorithm hacks, and move them to action. I should say something about the sales there and sales practice. Okay, how would you like implementing with all of this? Okay, here are some people. Here are a list of
shout out
clients. Do we have the sound shared? We do. Okay, back to screen one.
To Cat Rich.
And so I just want
to recommend her.
We're going to go by the end.
It's reinvigorated my database just on simple, quick posts on Facebook.
I'm excited to keep going.
Since working with her, I have learned such amazing strategies and
I clicked somewhere else.
have spoken to 3 new clients.
And I would recommend her all day long.
So I would highly recommend Cat Rich.
If you want to go ahead and boost your business, you definitely want to participate on the next one and even roll into her VIP coaching.
So without any doubt, I would recommend.
I would highly recommend her.
I would 10 out of 10 recommend for anyone who's struggling, especially if you're struggling to convert listing appointments.
Oh, I did it again.
And things like that. She definitely has value to add to your life.
Cat Rich, calling you. Don't hesitate.
She's amazing.
And I'm super grateful.
Thank you, Cat.
Thank you, Kat, very much.
Kat, thank you so much.
Kat, thank you so much.
So thank you so much, Cat Rich.
Thank you so much for helping me grow my business.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So can you guys see the power of this? You guys see the power of what the catapult can do, the lives that it has changed. Because over the next 6 weeks, you're going to get your first successful lead gen funnel strategy in place. Lead gen strategy in place, no funnel. Okay, so you're going to get that group implementation coaching at a $24.97 value. This means you're going to get the 6-week course for $11,600 value, including the group implementation coaching. What else do you need? You also get the replays of all of the coaching sessions, past, future, and present. So those are all in the library with a value of $1,500. So you get the Catapult to Results coaching video replays. You also get the Catapult community. This is the group chat, basically a boost group for your posts. When you post them, you're going to have an accountability room as well as a private Facebook group. The Catapult community is at $2,997 value. So you are going to get all of these things, all these really cool things below. There we go. Catapult Results 6-week course, as well as the group implementation coaching at $24.97. Catapult Results coaching replays. You're going to get the support network as well, because you cannot be left out. What else do you need? Oh, you want some stories for each step of each sales cycle? You need the combination for each aim. You need the aim for each combination. Okay, I forgot how to say that. We're just gonna move on. Okay. All right, so we're gonna skip that one as well. And we're gonna skip this one and move on to the next one. Okay, so what else do you need? You need more people to connect with. All right, so how to get referrals. I don't know what this was gonna mean to be. Let's figure that out. Okay. Oh, you are going to be able to, let's actually build that up real quick. You are going to be able to go back up to get referrals. We're going to actually give you a referral network. You're going to be posted in the main group and get interviewed on your topic in front of an audience of the main group, in front of a huge audience. And this way you can post it on your personal page and show that you have been in an interview and all of your cool experience. So you're going to get all of those things plus a cool interview opportunity. And let me ask you, if all of this did was to finally get you a lead gen strategy that worked, would it be worth it? If all it did was to help you get seen, to communicate and connect with your audience, more people who could either refer you business or be business for you, would that be worth the $18,000? If you could get the confidence and the ability to create your own leads rather than relying on an outside source, would that be worth it? So I had two choices. The first choice was to go as cheap as possible. Remember, we talked about devaluing your price because you're money, and that really doesn't incentivize me to stack on the value. The second choice requires a slightly higher investment, but in exchange, I can devote more resources to guarantee your success. Okay, so let me ask you, what is one reliable lead source worth to you? And if one lead leads to one closing is $4,500 in your pocket, how much would you pay for 100 warm leads a week? 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 or more? How much would you pay to spend only 1 hour a day? I'm sorry, I don't mean a week. 1 hour a day on lead gen, and the leads just flow in. So you can see why this is an amazing deal at $5,000. And in the future, this is going to be priced at $2,997 for the general public, for like $3,000 today, because it is the year of 2023. And I had a birthday last month. I have a special discount only for today. But after the first 10 people, it's going to go back up to $19.97. Today, to get started right now, you can get started at $14.97. Go to katapultleadgen.com/let's go. Okay, you're going to get the Catapult to Results 6-week course. You're going to get the group implementation course. Sorry about that. I wanted something. There we go. That's what I wanted. You're going to get the group implementation coaching. You are going to get the Catapult to Results coaching video replays. You're going to get the Catapult support network. All for $14.97. So the real question is it even worth gambling a couple of minutes of your time to check this out? What about even if it only does half of what I've claimed it to do? Would that be worth it? Is this music distracting? I'm sorry if it is. So let me ask you, if this wasn't amazing enough already, I want to toss in another bonus for you. This is done for you and done with you content made easy, using this recipe in order to create contagious content that gets tons of views. Okay, here's what it looks like. Done with you, done for you, content made easy. Because I had to go through the struggles of trying to create content every day until I was just hating life. And then I realized there's an easy way to create it. Just do it in batches. I did a run through the first month, and then I was shocked. It was so easy. I just go in and I post it on my calendar, grab the text, grab the image and the post, and you don't even have to go through all that. You just toss it on there. Okay. It was about a 1-minute process to make a post. I could do it in the bathroom. I could do it out to dinner. I could do it at the pool, playing with the kids. I could do it while I was making dinner. So fast and easy. You really just get back to life. It's just a quick post. Okay. Done. You might be thinking that you can't. Might be thinking that you can't use this because you don't want to use your personal profile, or you don't want your friends and family to see, but really, I can't find my cursor. There it is. But really what it comes down to is there are things Again, we've got to think about above the line thinking, below the line thinking. I've lost my slide. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, let's turn this one blue so I can see the difference between them. Okay, so yeah, you can do two things because remember we are solution focused, not problem focused. Solution focused means that you are going to be finding a way around anything. So I'm looking for you to be a solution oriented type of person. And if you get a problem, there is a way around it. 100% every single time. Every single time. And done with you and done for you content made easy. Okay, so you go here, you put a title in there, you drop the article link, and we write the content. I can write it for you. You can write it for yourself. I can follow the content. I can show you how to do it. It's really not big dramas. It's really not difficult because there is a formula that you can use. So you got all of this cool stuff. You've got the Katapult to Results 6-week course, sales and marketing course, as well as the group implementation coaching, which is all of the oh, that's not replays. That's the next one. Implementation coaching, which gives you sales, hot seats, masterclasses, mindset sessions, Katapult to Results coaching video replays, Katapult community support network, and done with you and done for you content made easy. Next one is going to be 2 free graphic designs for your social media banner. Now, it's not just going to be done for you on Canva. It's actually going to be a real graphic designer creating real graphics. These 2 on the top have the same background. These were created by the same graphic designer, but there is also other stuff out there. I love these 2 though. And you can create whatever banner billboard you want on your back Facebook banner. All right, so you're going to get all of this for $14.97. You're going to get the Katapult to Results 6-week sales and marketing course. You're going to get the group implementation coaching. You are going to get, I can't see myself. All the coaching video replays. You're going to get the community support network. You're going to get the done for you and done with you content made easy. You're going to get 2 free graphic design banners, all for $14.97 for the first 10 people. We've already sold 3 of them. So what you're going to get is you're going to get all of this stuff. You're going to get the 6-week sales and marketing course, the group implementation coaching, the coaching video replays, the community support network, content done for you, done with you, and 2 free social media banners all today for the best price of $14.97. I mean, where else can you really get coaching and marketing training and sales training and all of this stuff and a community and help doing it for $1,400, for $1,500? Like, that is really a freaking amazing deal. It is really good, really good. Okay, so we have 10 minutes on the clock. We have 10 minutes on the clock, and this is your countdown to get involved. If this video will stay on. Let's just back it up there. Play. There we go. Now we got seconds. Okay. Get started now for this ridiculous New Year's price, only $14.97. Normally, it is twice this much. Normally, it is twice this much. Today, special value. All right. Love you guys. That's all for tonight. And Brian, you are in. Brian, do you have any questions?
You're awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kat. Great job.
3, 2, 1. That's it. That's the show for tonight. That's the webinar. I'm trying to change my second secret around, but I'm still struggling a little bit. So it's not perfect, but whatever. We're going to move on with life and get it better next time. Progress over perfection. Progress over perfection.
Good
Cool.
job.
Thanks. Is your wife there watching with you?
No, she's actually had another client.
Okay. Yeah, I know you told me that earlier. I was just checking.
Yeah. No, but I talked to her already. We're good.
Cool.
Yep.
Yay.
Awesome. Appreciate you.
You are in, Brian. All right. I
Yep.
will see you Monday, I think.
Yes, ma'am. See you Monday.
Okay. Bye.
All right, actually
Bye.
tomorrow too, right?
Oh, yes, tomorrow too. And I'm going to send you a little copy and paste thing tonight. I
Yep.
haven't forgotten.
Perfect. Awesome.
You got
Thank
it.
you.
All right. Bye.
Have a good one. All right, bye.